Hey everyone, Jennifer Lee Chan here from NBC Sports Bay Area. Well, that didn't turn out how anyone had planned. So, Liam Cohen, formerly the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive coordinator, has agreed in terms to be the next head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, my friend Jenna Lane, who covers the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for ESPN, tweeted out that he is indeed taking the job. So that takes Robert Saleh out of the mix. Robert Saleh probably will not even go to Jacksonville on Friday, which was scheduled to be his second interview with the club. So it's more likely that Robert Saleh will become the defensive coordinator for the 49ers. Now, my colleague, Matt Mayoko, of course, has said that if Robert Saleh did not get a head coaching job, he was in line to be the defensive coordinator for the 49ers. So that's what his sources say. That that is what will happen. He also dropped a few little nuggets about the special teams opening. 49ers have interviewed Brant Boyer for special teams coordinator. A source said to Matt Mayoko, served as the New York Jets special teams coordinator since 2016. The 49ers expect to have the position filled next week. It will not be Nick Sorensen, a source said. He is not expected to remain with the team. So I get it. You know, when you get fired from a job or fired from a position, the last thing you want to do is spend the next season or whatever there. I would understand. But it is interesting now that Jacksonville is off the table for Robert Saleh, that he will most likely be the 49ers defensive coordinator. So, of the jobs that have been filled, Patriots are Mike Vrabel. Bears have Ben Johnson, and I think that's a really good choice because Ben Johnson is an offensive coordinator. He's going to work with Caleb Williams. I think that's a great thing. Aaron Glenn is going to be the Jets head coach, and Liam Cohen now Jaguars head coach. And again, I think it's better for the Jags that it's Liam Cohen who has an offensive background who's going to work with Trevor Lawrence. I think that's important. So, you know, when you have a young quarterback like Brock Purdy working with Kyle Shanahan and Brian Greasy, it's important for young quarterbacks to have an offensive-minded head coach, or at least a coach who has been established as having a great offensive coordinator in there. So I think it's great for, the Jags. And, it's kind of the whole thing that happened with Trent Baalke was nuts. So on today is Thursday. On Wednesday, Trent Baalke was let go in the middle of the day. And Liam Cohen had agreed to terms with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to be their offensive coordinator, a much higher paid position, and for a 2-year deal. Now, that's when Shad Khan decided to fire Trent Baalke, and Liam Cohen started to think again about going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, in that time, Robert Saleh was still a candidate to be head coach over in Jacksonville, but I think the main focus of Shad Khan, the owner of the Jacksonville Jags, was to get Liam Cohen back in the building because I think it's really important to have an offensive guy with your young quarterback. Now, Trevor Lawrence has gone through a couple different coordinators since he started, and he is a really good quarterback. He just needs some stability. He needs an offensive line like Caleb Williams does, and a strong-minded offensive coordinator to guide him, or offensive head coach. So now that Trent Baalke is out of the picture, Liam Cohen had not actually signed the agreement with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He says, "Hey, sorry, dog ate my homework. I'm going to reconsider what's going on in Jacksonville." Goes back out to Jacksonville on Thursday. He is in the building, and apparently he and Shad Khan are going to pick out a general manager together. So normally, there's a lot of surprises in the firings. The timing obviously is crazy with the Jags. It's the optics of it are crazy, which means, I mean, I guess it's good for Shad Khan to say, "Hey, this is how much we want you." I mean, that was pretty much the trump card, getting rid of Trent Baalke. So now Liam Cohen can go in there and help choose a general manager that shares his same view, which I think is so important. And you see it with the 49ers, with John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan being on the same page, the GM picking guys that will work in the offensive guys system, and Kyle Shanahan's system, or in this case, Liam Cohen's system. Because a lot of times, and I think this happened with Trent Baalke and Jim Harbaugh, Trent Baalke had his idea of who he thought was going to be a great player, and it wasn't necessarily what Jim Harbaugh wanted on the field. Kyle Shanahan, I think, is even more particular about what he wants on the field. So to have a guy like John Lynch be on the same page with him is vital. So I think this is what Liam Cohen is going to do when he gets to Jacksonville, which, you know, takes Robert Saleh out of the running for head coach in Jacksonville. Baalke kind of being who he is, and that firing kind of did the 49ers a solid. If you're a Salah fan, and most likely Salah will, I think he did interview with the Raiders. He did interview with the Cowboys. I don't think he's their lead candidate though, but I could be wrong. There are three head coaching positions still open: Saints, Raiders, and Cowboys. Robert Saleh is up for two of those. I did know he interviewed, but I don't know what his status is in those interviews. I'm not an insider with the Raiders or the Cowboys. I don't think he interviewed with the Saints. So, as far as we sit on Thursday, no official announcements have been made. Could be Robert Saleh takes himself out of the running for the Raiders and the Cowboys. Those are tough jobs. Cowboys do have Dak Prescott. They have a pretty good team. They need to have somebody pull them all together and play as a team. But whoever goes there does have to deal with Jerry Jones being the de facto general manager. Not an easy job. And then you look at the Raiders job, and again, not entirely attractive because of the status of the roster there. And that makes your job even more difficult. You don't have the roster, you've got to build the roster, and you don't know who the GM is going to be. Um, I mean, I thought Tom Telesco was doing a good job. They let him go. So a lot of uncertainty with those teams, and there's much more certainty with Robert Saleh going back to the 49ers as the defensive coordinator, set up for success with a pretty good roster. And, he could stay with the 49ers for a year or two and really get the defense up to speed better than it was in 2024, which was definitely not good. Better than 23 with Steve Wilkes, which was, you know, they still made it to the Super Bowl, but a lot of big mistakes there. But Robert Saleh can return the 49ers to, the glory that it has seen in the past. So we'll wait to see what happens on Friday. Maybe there'll be an announcement, but we'll, be with you. We'll be here uh, giving you updates as soon as I hear them. But as of now, Robert Saleh, probably the top candidate for the 49ers DC job, and Liam Cohen, formerly Buccaneers offensive coordinator, will be the head coach of the Jacksonville Jags. Crazy day in football. All right. Hope everybody's well, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.